welcome to the Guitar Intelligence
How's that? Can you hear that okay?
podcast by musicians for musicians.
All right, hold on. Let me do a little test right here. Can you hear my guitar?
Yep. Nice layers.
Yeah. Nice.
I always think of like Yngwie when he did it with Ronnie James Dio, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But even with something like that, a song that we all feel and know when we feel, but you know, the knowing your music theory opens up the opportunity for you to take that progression and be like, oh man.
For sure. You could even use the Hungarian minor.
Oh, now that gives it a nice flavor right
Yeah,
there.
that's the sound.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's really cool.
Except for
'Cause, you
playing
know,
an F minor is
you're going to
just one
just
fret away from E minor, which makes it a pain in the ass for a guitar player.
and my go-to is, okay, F minor, but instead of jumping right to the F minor pentatonic scale, to just jump into its relative major, A flat major, and it opens up a whole new dimension to it.
You know, I realized something I was teaching the other day is that visually what I perceive when I play, especially when I'm playing in a key like F minor, which is uncommon, is I'm always thinking of fingers 1, 2, 4, and 1, 3, 4. And anytime you play 1, 3, 4, that leads up into a 1, 2, 4, right? So you've got this little connection of, which happens all over the place. Because wherever you play, like if I'm in a Phrygian pattern, there's 1 3 4, 1 2 4, 1 2 4, 1 2 4, and wherever you're playing a 1 1 3 4 or a 1 2 4, you always have a whole step on either side of it. So if I have if I'm playing right here, then I have a 1 3 4, and on either side of that I have a whole step there, and I have a whole step there. If I'm 1 2 4, I have a whole step there or a whole step there.
Wow, that's like thinking in terms of a chromatic enclosure, but with a interval enclosures.
So when I'm playing,
really cool.
then I can play. I don't have to think about, my fingers just know all those, all those shapes. So I can mindlessly play.
That's very interesting. And it works with both of the 1 3 4 pattern or the 1 2 4 pattern. Like there we go, that 1 2 4, and then we've got the whole step. 1 2 4, and then we've got the whole step. So,
and if you do 1 3 4 on patterns where you have 1 3 4, it's the same way. 1 3 4 whole step. So when you're doing a scale run, so check it out. When I go down that run, I can do. I'll do an E minor because it's much easier for me to visualize. But then I can go. So I can. You know what I mean? Like I can slide in either direction all the time.
Man, that is really cool. Yeah, and taking that and for me, like just taking a little triad, it's either going to be a half step. You have this little enclosure. There's your 3 target notes. Now we can use that concept that you just thought and gave me with this half step and whole step. Oh. And then
What are you playing, like a C there? Whenever I think of enclosures, I always do whole step above, half step below. That's my go-to enclosure.
yeah.
That's a beautiful sound. I tried a bunch of them, and that's the only one that clicked with me.
Yeah, I do really like that sound.
That's the whole step above, the half step below.
Well, what's funny is if you think, okay, if I want to think diatonically and make sure I'm hitting the correct note from the scale, but then you just do the pattern, and the pattern sounds just as good because it's using an alteration from the scale, and it sounds even cooler. So you don't even really need to think diatonically. It's like...
I learned a cool the lick from Avenged Sevenfold the other day that reminds me of like Scooby-Doo or something. I'm not sure. Tell me what. It's like a cartoon sound. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like
is that in Backcountry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes something like that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Well, I was surprised at how, I never could stand those guys, and when they were popular, and I was having to learn it and teach it. And now when I was listening to it, I was like, well, the scales that they're playing are interesting. So they've got some interesting stuff going on musically, but it's just the performance or the execution of it, to me, it just sounds a little, what's the word, stiff. You know what I mean? It doesn't have a lot of feel to it. It's almost definitely worked out or quantized or something. You know what I mean?
I always dug it. Sinister Gates' dad was a jazzer.
Yeah.
So that, he
knew music theory, yeah.
Um, but it definitely doesn't have the expressionism as Van Halen or Eddie
Yeah.
or Randy
He doesn't have any of that. Or, there's no sloppiness or.
Um, so I was thinking about my um, debut here on Guitar Intelligence, and what about music theory that has really been a game changer for me. And I thought about that quote about it's not being an elitist or a snob or thinking you're better than somebody or anything like that, but what it is you've got a palette, and if you only have the primary colors to play, your minor pentatonic scale, your major scale, and the chords that you're not going to be able to paint a very detailed picture. So music theory is a way to, for me, it's just fun, intellectually. I mean, it gets pretty old when you're just, playing how you feel all the time. It gets pretty exciting to play something where you have to think about it, and you've got to think, oh, am I in the parameters here? Am I following the rules? And that makes it a whole new fun game. So I think you can paint a more detailed picture. And like one example for me is, let's just say like static harmony. So if just we're in the key of C, we're playing like C major 7. So just over static harmony, you can go to different chord inversions, and do different chord inversions and make it interesting that way. But when you can connect those chord inversions with notes from the scale that is diatonic to it, then you can do little things that are like. And you want to have a couple of those in your bag of tricks where you. And I'm just taking the melody. But I'm doing them with the chords. And then you want to have some that you're going, down. So now we're going up and we're going down and we're connecting inversions with notes from the scale. Then you throw in that stuff that we talked about earlier today. So, that's over like a major tonality. Over minor ones, I love this sound of a cluster chord. Like that sound is such a beautiful sound. So, ooh.
What's that one right there?
So this would just be, here's your A minor triad.
Are you playing a 9?
And I'm playing a 9. We usually think of 9s.
You're muting out the 5th string, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I normally think of like clusters as being like chordal tones, like Bill Evans or what's his name?
McCoy. Chordal harmony.
Like that cluster kind of sound, But I do like the closeness of one of my all-time favorite things is the closeness of like minor 9s, where you have the tension of the that sound of the the rub that. So I'm going, if you hear that, That's one of my all-time favorite things.
Nice. The next time that we get together, because I know that the Zoom gave us the message,
Yeah.
but one of the most helpful things are the Brett Ecklund sheets and how you put music on paper. The way that you put music on paper was really a springboard for my ability to memorize all of the music that I've memorized, because what you did for me with how you put it on paper is it's organized in fours.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
now I just memorize blocks of
Always,
information,
yeah. Well,
and
because parts are almost always 8 bars in jazz.
they're always
Oh,
eight bars.
unless you're playing Latin music, then it's 16 bars. You have 16 bar set, and then another 16 bar set that's just slightly different, usually with a different ending or something.
Ah, like in the old Black
Latin's,
Orpheus.
yeah, it's always 16 bars and then 16 bars.
Well, let's play a little Black Orpheus for that. You can
I don't remember.
solo
Yeah, I don't remember
solo over the
chords.
top. But I'll play the chords. Yeah, two 16 bars.
This is Jack Lemmon.
So cool.
Say this is probably my go-to guitar for just about everything. You see the
Well,
cool
you've had that for how many years now? 40?
1991. So what is
Well, I
that?
can't even do that addition.
Oh, wow. That's not a bad clean sound.
Oh no, that's nice tone.
I was thinking of let's go out with Marvin Gaye.